What's up, you guys? Welcome to Fightful. I'm Sean Ross Sapp. It is November 26, 2025. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you who are celebrating. I will be joined momentarily by Alex Pawlowski, and we have, still a loaded week for you. We had Full Gear this past week. I did a review of that. This Saturday, you'll have Phil and Joel on the Survivor Series post show. I would be doing that, but I'll be flying home from WrestleCade. So, you will get a bonus show on FightfulSelect.com. And while Alex joins here, I'll use this opportunity to tell you a couple things that we're doing on FightfulSelect.com over the next week. Special debunkathon on Thanksgiving. Also a special Q&A on Thanksgiving. Contract news today that we dropped. Lacey Lane, the former Caden Carter, has signed with AEW. And then on Monday, we're adding a big one. It is the WrestleVotes crew, TC and WrestleVotes, starting at 3 p.m. live every Monday. They'll be taking your questions. Another Q&A show added because I want to get as many answers for the things that you all want to know about as possible. Then every Thursday, they'll be adding WrestleVotes Radio, just full of scoops. It's going to be a really, really good time. If you are here right now, please leave a thumbs up on the video and send in your super chats and humper chats. It would mean an awful lot if you guys would do such a thing. That lets us know what you guys want to talk about and what you really want us to focus on and what you want answered. I also had the hump today with Kimmy where we talked about the process of WrestleCade and a lot of the conventions, all that. A very laid-back show. It was a good time there. We're going to try to do more of that on Wednesdays, along with answering all the questions that you all want. But let's go ahead and talk about AEW Dynamite as we are being joined by, oh boy, there he is.
Hello.
Hello.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
You know, I understand the inspiration, Alex. It was not too long ago. I raised a really significant amount of money to get you a puppet. And as a result of that, you were required to review Freddy Got Fingered. And
yes,
it became the longest Freddy Got Fingered review in recorded history.
Yeah.
And during that movie, he finds a dead moose and he wears it.
Right.
And I see that has stuck with you. I knew there was some art.
Yeah, I took a little artistic inspiration for Mr. Thomas Green and thought that I might do an homage or homage, I believe it's actually pronounced.
Okay.
And so, yeah, this is my tribute to Tom Green and also my celebration of Turkey Day.
Indeed. Well, listen, if you guys want to check out that review, it is well worth it, especially over this Thanksgiving holiday. But as I mentioned, guys, FightfulSelect.com dropping a special Q&A bright and early tomorrow, like 7 a.m. That way you guys can listen to it while you travel or in case you don't like your family at all. You can also listen to it then. Yep. You got just a wealth of stuff for you guys. But by God, we're here to talk AEW Dynamite. Alex, I broke the news on FightfulSelect.com right before this show. Lacey Lane has officially signed with AEW. That is the former Caden Carter. I was a little bit surprised by this because I haven't heard a thing about Casey Catanzaro yet. Maybe that will be the case. But if you're adding just a team to the division, it would make sense to add a former, I guess, World Tag Team Champion team there.
Yeah, I mean, if they are bringing both of them in, I think that that Lacey, formerly Caden, was the worker of the two. And I mean, Casey's very athletic and can do a lot of like fun, spectacular stuff. But like when it comes to just putting your working boots on, slapping on a hold and doing a match, like I think that Lacey Lane is very talented, very skilled, and I think that if you're just trying to like pad out the numbers of your women's division in both here and in ROH, we don't know where she's going to work more, AEW or ROH or whatever. And I think she's a fine addition to the roster.
As do I. And let me tell you guys, the signing news is not stopping, especially at FightfulSelect.com.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember what I had yesterday. Oh, yeah, I had a great piece of news yesterday. Bear Bronson, former AEW talent who has just been on a tear on the indies, is being discussed for TNA. And quite frankly, TNA people that I talked to said, yeah, hoping that that he gets signed, hoping that he comes along there. But
good.
he has wrestled like 90 matches since March, which is a torrid schedule. I think this is a great idea for TNA. Somebody who has the familiarity of American wrestling TV, but doesn't have like a run.
Yeah.
Something like that they can establish there. I really, really like that one. And looks like he'll be at the El Paso tapings based on what I heard. Somebody asked for an update on Anna Jay. Last week, I reported that Anna Jay's contract is up soon. I talked to somebody connected to that today, and they said they implied that there are some negotiations ongoing or some conversations being had, but I can't really speak to the extent of that. But I do know that she is willing to explore her options, and this does add to a little bit of the, okay, that's probably why one of the more established tag teams did not win in this tag team tournament, Alex.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, the other thing is they're just up against a couple of juggernauts in Marina and Megan Bain, so that also might be part of it. Like at this point, although after tonight's promo, I'm not sure, but at this point they still have a good chance of winning the whole thing, Megan and Marina. So Ty J going out to them, I think is no slight to them, but we'll talk about it later tonight. There are no original tag teams from before the tag tournament started being talked about that are still in the tag tournament, which I know there's a lot of like purists who are very upset about it. I am mildly miffed, but there's a lot of people who are very upset that no real quote unquote tag teams are left in the tag team tournament.
And I would argue that by saying, okay, Toni and Mina have had some sort of loose affiliation in that regard.
Yes.
And
when I have made that argument, those people have said a loose affiliation is not necessarily a tag team.
Well, listen, I think that both of those women in their next promo would take exception to the loose terminology in any regard.
Or they might embrace it.
And they might embrace it. Knowing Toni, she might embrace it. I mean, listen, you know what? I think the puppets might have been worth it because in a way it led to one of our most successful clips of all time with Toni Storm laughing about Freddie got fingered.
True. Yeah, that's true.
So, oh boy, am I ready to rant, Alex.
Good. Please.
I'm fired up, buddy. Please, I ain't happy.
Give it to me.
I ain't happy. They just added a national title, which beautiful, by the way. And a bunch of dumbasses on the internet do not understand that Reggie Parks, rest his soul, and Dave Milliken are able to license designs out because they own them.
Yeah.
They own them, so they can license it out whatever they want. Either way, I didn't need a national title added. Not me. Especially when it is more international or all-Atlantic in nature than the previous titles, especially by them saying CMLL, ROH, New Japan, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Alex, imagine how I wanted to pull my hair out at the beginning of this show when Kazuchika Okada walks out with that beautiful international championship. One of the best looking title belts they've ever had.
Gorgeous. Yep.
Instead of that ugly ass unified title, but the unified title of which I adore in concept.
Yes.
You combined two championships that have a nice history. The Continental Championship, which, had at one point seemed like it was absorbing some other championships. Well, no, because they tore all those apart as well. All right, whatever. And then the International Championship, of which was defended so fiercely that the company said it's got to be elevated in name, in look, in everything, and then you combine them. Then, at the start of this, the announcers say, Okada only wearing the International Championship because he has surrendered the Continental title, as the winners of each bracket of the Continental Classic will compete for that title in the finals. So, to get this straight, the title that they unified a few months ago on one of the biggest shows ever, ever for AEW. 4 months later, they're just, not that big of a deal. So if Okada does not win the C2, he loses the Continental Championship, which is on the line during this tournament in the finals. He will also lose the unified title because, by definition, the title will no longer be unified. However, he remains the international champion, which means if the match happens that many of us suspected, and I'm okay if it doesn't, if it's something else, but boy, it will need to go through some gymnastics here. If it does end up being Okada and Takeshita, you're doing Okada and Takeshita a week before the Tokyo Dome, of which one of these people is going to go defend the IWGP Championship as well. So either one of these things will be happening, Alex.
Yes. Okada
will be losing a championship and no longer being the unified title, or Takeshita, who is the current IWGP world champion, will have lost to the point to where he doesn't win that, or he will win that and might lose his IWGP championship. Very little of this has a satisfying path in my view.
No.
Because I didn't like the year one where it was abundantly clear that Eddie Kingston was going to win because of what he was defending throughout.
Right.
Match is great. Stakes just make it unnecessary. It could have been for a title shot at the unified title because that's the luxury that Okada gained by unifying. Shit, Alex, I hate this.
Yeah, I hate it too. Tony Khan is a belt perv, and a champion defends the title in the C2 perv. Listen, he wants there to be more and more titles. He's talked about it.
Hate it
because he feels like if there are more titles being defended, that the matches that are being had have more stakes. And I'm like, well, yeah, but you could just make those be stakes for getting the title shots, and then that would be fine too. But if everybody's got a title, then who cares? So there are so many titles, by the way, in AEW that we got a promo from the new TNT champion. We've been mentioned that on Collision we're going to hear from the new tag champions, and the first ever national champion will be on the taped Thanksgiving night Collision, which probably won't have a very high rating. Yeah. So okay, so everybody's got a belt and it's really important and everything. I wonder if a lot of this is like, well, we want Okada to lose to Takeshita, but we want him to carry one of our belts into the Tokyo Dome when he faces Tanahashi. And if he loses and he loses all the gold, then he can't do that. I mean, that's a dumb reason to, but there's got to be a reason for it, because none of this makes any sense. You did a big deal about International, Continental, They're being united into the Intercontinental, no, the Contranational, no, the unified title. That it takes the name from the act of combining two belts together into one thing. Whenever they say, okay, we unified the two titles, in my lizard brain goes, they melted down both belts into a big thing of gold and then sculpted the new belt out of it, so that effectively neither of those old belts even exist anymore, or they shouldn't. They should be in some kind of Fort Knox of belts, and nobody can see them because they're gone. But now, no, we're just going to bring out the old one that he used to wear, and this is what we're doing, and this makes it so. If Takeshita does indeed get the big moment of beating Okada, Okada still gets to leave that match wearing a belt, which is not what we were promised whatsoever.
Somebody says the Continental Classic was technically originally 3 titles. Yes, as a big triple crown that they promoted and then just severed them all.
And then just severed them all immediately. Yep.
WWE did the right move when Roman was running around with 3 belts and all that stuff. And then Cody beat him and Cody said, enough, and just carried one. Now, if AEW wanted to go to Wikipedia and say, hey, Wikipedia, actually, you can keep updating the title histories for all of these because the lineage is continuing.
Sure.
And maybe one day we'll separate them. It just doesn't make sense. And Brian more or less says if Okada wins, he remains unified champion. Why didn't he defend the unified title as a whole? That's what I think. If he wanted to be in this, or if they had to have him in it, just put the unified title on the line. It already goes under Continental rules.
I think I figured it out, Sean.
What?
Because it's called the Continental Classic. So he has to defend the Continental Classic to make it a C2. If he defended the unified title, it would be a U2. And not even Tony Khan is putting up the money to license U2. No way.
No, you're
not
right.
after they played the Sphere. No chance. He doesn't have that kind of money. You can't license U2.
This has been planned all along. This has been planned all along, Alex, because the All Atlantic title, that you remember what they said? They said it was elevated.
Yep.
Elevation.
Yeah, there you go, right there.
And I'll tell you one thing. If you're Okada, you don't want to get stuck in a moment that you can't get out of.
That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a really, really bad idea, all this. Like, I heard Tony's answer last week. And by the way, guys, the scrum, nope, it wasn't. It was not the Helwani thing. It was a lot of drawn out answers. He did a little bit better, but not by and large. But he was asked about all the titles. And he said, well, we're getting more and more TV. And I'm like, not that much more. It's like 2 hours of Collision, 2 hours of in fact, you've got less TV now than you did a year ago. Why do we have more belts? You got rid of the FTW title. I actually liked that because it was a different match type. It was like hardcore matches and stuff. So I kind of dug that. Tony, if you're watching, first off, please send me my check that everybody talks about. Second off, please, with the titles. The same with any company. I saw Fallon Henley won the speed title. For what? For what? In overtime? What's the point?
No, it was basically that if you do a speed title match for 5 minutes and at the end of it, it becomes sudden death. It's literally just an 8-minute match. It's just an 8-minute singles match. That's all it is.
It becomes the wrap it up B title.
Yeah, that's what it becomes.
Come on, you're over time, buddy.
Yep.
Too many title belts in wrestling. What happened to the game I love? Now, I don't want them to go full WWE 2002 where they're like no titles but the world titles. Hated that. Didn't like that. But like, my God, man, across AEW, WWE, CMLL, New Japan, too many title belts to the point to where almost nothing underneath matters that much. It's just who comes out and interrupts next or who comes out and attacks somebody next.
A lot of it is like, with the Omega and Okada unification match, the implication being that it was going to be like a half step below the world title.
Yes.
But if it is just a conglomeration, not to use that phrase particularly, but like an amalgamation, let's say, of two much lesser titles, then it isn't that anymore. It isn't that 1A belt, which I was frankly really excited to see after I assumed Takeshita beat Okada for it. Maybe Takeshita would have more feuds about that title that would be 1A feuds. And really, it's just Okada, saying bitch to people and being very trolly about stuff.
N. Simmons says, so if the international title is still active, which does the same thing as the national championship, this makes the national title worthless and Ricochet is holding a toy. I mean, quite frankly, when they added the international or the national title, I go, well, that sounds an awful lot like what the All Atlantic title or the international title was supposed to be. I think if they could have their way, Alex, they would have done it in a different order, and the national title would have been unified. But there you go. N. Simmons also says, I say get rid of the unified title, just redo the international title as the international heavyweight title. It's already a beautiful belt. Or, N. Simmons, you could just call it the unified title and keep the international belt.
You could keep the international title belt design because it's an object. We like the design more.
It is one of the most gorgeous belts I have ever seen in my entire life. And then I got to go see that unified title. The Continental Championship sucks, man. That thing, it always looks like brass knuckles instead of a crown. I'm like, what? Yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, man, not a fan of the unified title either. Don't like it. I love the international title, though. But Dave Koss says, hey, boys, regarding the five men's singles titles, as fans of AEW and respected opinions in the space, WTF are they doing? Man, and that's beyond. Yes. So the brass knuckle title, it reminds me of the, is it the Iron Heavy Metal Weight Championship that DDT always does? That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
But, and yeah, we didn't even talk about ROH TV title, Pure title, ROH World title. Like, come on, man. Yeah. Tom LaValle says TK could use that U2 album it put on the iPhone, or he could use David Byrne like humans do. Do you understand that reference, Alex?
Not really, no.
The Windows XP would come with the David Byrne song from the Talking Heads.
Right.
There you go. I still know the words to this day. Brian more or less says what I don't want to see is Takeshita win the Continental title, then Okada versus Takeshita at Revolution reunifies the title. Yeah, it seemed, and I could see them doing that to where, oh man, Takeshita wins the Continental Championship. Oh, that's just so bad. It's a bad course of action because then, unless the IWGP title is on the line too, something is going to seem less than in this situation.
There's a lot of stuff because during the social media reveal of the fields for the C2, Tony Schiavone said it was back to being the first year's semifinal where the winner and the runner-up of the Blue League face each other, and the winner and the runner-up of the Gold League face each other. But apparently that's not the case, and he misspoke. And they put on social media explaining that it actually is the second year's version, which means that the winner of the Blue League and the runner-up of the Gold League face each other and vice versa, which is entirely different because it means there's a possibility that we would get Okada versus Takeshita in the semifinals and not in the finals. And that feels really anticlimactic.
Yeah. I was of the belief, like, they should have just main evented Revolution, to be honest with you, which I don't think is going to happen until like mid-March.
Yeah.
So, oh man. Well, guys, no matter where you are, Japan, the US, Canada, it doesn't matter. NordVPN.com/Fightful is going to help you. Maybe you want to watch all that WWE content over Thanksgiving weekend. Well, you're going to need NordVPN.com/Fightful to do it. unless you want to spend a lot of money. You don't need Peacock or CW or USA Network when you got nordvpn.com/Fightful. You subscribe. It's like $288 a month when you when it's averaged out over your 2+ year deal. 30-day money back guarantee. Great Black Friday offer right now. But you just log in, change your virtual location, use Netflix, and you're good to go. You've got access to all that WWE content, including Survivor Series this weekend. That pay-per-view this past weekend for AEW, spent a lot less money on it by getting it with nordvpn.com/Fightful. That last UFC pay-per-view next month, you can get it at a much more affordable price with nordvpn.com/Fightful. And they've got a wealth of other different benefits that you can check out there. Just go to nordvpn.com/Fightful, go to choose your plan, and see the wealth of options, from cloud storage to data breach scanners to spam call protection. NordVPN is taking care of you. 10 devices with one subscription. I am very happy to announce that not only are they sponsoring the Fightful Awards again, but they have re-signed with us for 2026, which makes me very happy. But speaking of the Fightful Awards presented by nordvpn.com/Fightful, we're doing something completely different this year. The voting will start on Sunday at FightfulSelect.com. So get your subscriptions in, and it's completely open-ended. I am not putting nominations on there. I'm letting you guys write in whatever the hell you want. If you want to put me down as best men's promo of the year, you can. I'm not going to win, but you could. These will continue all throughout the month. And if for some reason you need to change your vote, you can just reach out to us and do that. Subscribe to FightfulSelect.com and tune into the Fightful Awards next month. Oh, we had Fletcher defeat Okada. We are 28 minutes in and are just getting started here. Sure. But fantastic match. Okada kicked Knox into the ropes, which I loved. There's a really good Rainmaker, great powerbomb. I was a big fan of the Rainmaker counter into the Michinoku driver because I just love that move. And I think Fletcher does it maybe better than anybody but Cedric or Taka. And then there was a counter into the Kyle Fletcher pin. And there's a little bit of a story brewing here in that Kyle Fletcher has Kazuchika Okada's number and is doing quite well here. Alex, how'd you feel about this? Because I thought this was a slapper to open up with.
Oh, it was a definite slapper. It was only 3/4 of the way through this match that I realized that Tony Schiavone had misspoke about the nature of the semifinals.
Yes.
And so I thought we were getting a draw in this first match, and then they would face each other. I thought we were going to get a draw, and then they would run the table against everybody else, both of them. And so they would each be like, what, 4-0-1 going into the finals. And then you would figure out what would go on there. But then I realized that they can't meet each other in the semifinals. So now it becomes like, we need, in order to get what we want, we need Takeshita to not be the runner-up in the Gold League or whatever, however it works out, so we can make sure that Okada and Takeshita somehow face each other in the finals. The match was amazing. I'm watching it, and Fletcher wins, and I'm like, oh, when Okada gets that rematch, oh wait, he can't possibly unless they meet each other in the finals, and that would be weird. I do love that Fletcher winning here because now it puts the pressure on Okada, and now we get to see how they book Fletcher to lose a match or two so that Okada can win if we think Takeshita is winning the Blue League. So much C2 math.
I loved that they announced the time during this match for a match that wasn't a draw as well, because that's something that we've brought up a number of times. Like they really telegraph draws or near time limit things. I love that they said like 5 minutes remaining and people were like, oh, well, we're heading towards a draw, I guess.
Right.
More of that. Noise says, don't know why bookers can't just elevate people by making them absolutely hate each other and want to put each other through horrendous pain in the ring. I mean, there's also just striving to be the absolute best. AJ Styles and Kurt Angle in TNA, their feud was I'm the best in the world. Wait, no, I'm the best in the world. And people go, wait, which one is it? And people wanted to see it as a result. Matthew Hooks of Hooked in Voiceovers, who sponsored the Fightful Awards, and you can too. Contact myself, Kate, or Fightful. Says, felt like tonight had a ton of storytelling, really. Yeah, it did. It did. Including Kenny Omega emerging from his locker room and being asked by Arkady, or maybe it was Lexi, I think. Now, yeah, it was Lexi. Do you trust the Young Bucks? Like, do they deserve a second chance? And Kenny goes, if I deserved one, I can give them a second chance. And then the Bucks emerge from that as well.
I mean, I'm here for the Elite being like, you know, we're just talking about how everybody's got a title. I'm really here for the Elite just being these non-title greats that no matter what they're doing, if we have them in a good enough feud, we'll watch them do whatever because they're the Elite. They're the second letter in the company. Like it comes from them. And so they'll whatever they're doing will be important to the original fans and people who love watching good wrestling. So I love that you can elevate whoever is facing them or working with them gets elevated by being a part of their deal. Getting to see Kenny and the Bucks together, I feel like is as it should be. And I'm excited, frankly, to see how they make this into something really compelling somewhere in the non-title scene.
We got the Mark Briscoe promo where he talked about how he lost everything. And my God, man. This was emotional. It was great. I loved the moment of him winning the title. How'd you feel about this, Alex?
I'm always a bigger fan of Mark when he drops all the artifice, all the stuff that he does, all the shtick, and is just a man who loves his family.
Which was MJF's complaint.
And like either I'm a man who you insulted my family, so I'm going to murder you, or I'm a man who loves his family, and winning this title is for the family. That's a far better use of Briscoe to me than the thing that he does when he does his shtick. And now we see what the TNT picture is, because basically Kyle Fletcher swearing off of it, at least for a month, to go and do the C2 means that we've got something left for Briscoe. And thank God they didn't insist on putting a brand new TNT champion in the C2 like they did last year with Daniel Garcia. So now he is free of that. He can do his own thing separate from the C2, and we won't have to watch a brand new mid-card champion take a bunch of non-title losses in a round-robin format.
Willow, Nightingale, and Harley Cameron defeated the Sisters of Sin. I liked a lot of the double team moves in here. There was a weird moonsault from Julia. I don't know if she just over-rotated or if Harley was supposed to move out of the way, but she landed on her feet and then leaped in the air.
I thought Nigel did a fantastic...
he did his best.
Shit. No, some people wouldn't have said anything.
Sure.
But he tried to be like, wow, the body control to realize that she thought she was going to miss Harley Cameron and land on her feet instead, but still have the presence of mind to drop an elbow from 3 feet high. And I was like, yeah, that's not what happened. But Nigel trying to cover for it was
yes, honestly, did his job.
He did what he was supposed to, for sure.
Yeah, I am a big fan of a good gut wrench power bomb, and Willow walloped one here. This is another match where the more established team is out. I don't know. I kind of feel like I would have built towards Toni and Mina and Marina and Megan in the finals as like a marquee thing.
That's what I would have done too. Yeah.
But like Willow is super over.
Yeah, she is.
Harley is over with what she does too. Like the crowd's out there clapping, all that stuff. They've got their gear together. This is fun. This is fine. From an in-ring perspective, it's heavy on the double team action, which I actually really liked.
Yeah. I'm I love Willow. She's tremendous. TK dropping her name as somebody who to watch out for in 2026. If you told me, I think she probably might be my number one choice to be the one to take the TBS title off of Mercedes. Like, they have that rivalry going back a while. It'd be kind of cool to see her out there with the TBS title after having beaten Mercedes for it. And then we get Statlander to come out and they have their moment, you know what I mean? Like, together, like, we're both the champs here, kind of a thing to do that. That would be really cool. Harley's improved an insane amount. But I feel like maybe the brackets were a little wonky. I mean, if Toni and Mina do get past Marina and Marina and Megan, and we get face in the finals, I guess nobody's upset. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of heat there, but the match should be a lot of fun. Toni and Mina will certainly make it fun. But I did think that if Toni and Mina were to beat one team of heels that tormented them during Blood and Guts, they would then wind up in the finals facing the other team of heels that tormented them during Blood and Guts. So we'll see here. We'll see what happens here. But two of the tag teams left were not tag teams until right before the tournament started. And it did feel like a lot of people who started clamoring for the tag team championships 2 years ago were doing so because they had a bunch of established tag teams that were doing stuff.
Yeah.
And then those people aren't involved in the final match for the original tag team titles. I can see why those people who were so adamant about it a while ago are upset.
RP says Okada is listed on the roster page with 3 separate titles. They mentioned the unified title is at risk, but not the international. Do you have clarity on if all those are treated as 3 separate titles? We did cover that earlier. I would refer you to earlier, but Supi Toshin says with the weird tourney belts, Okada losing tonight, and Okada and Takeshita having big Wrestle Kingdom matches, do they have Okada fluke out, Takeshita win, and do the match to unify again after Wrestle Kingdom? Well, and the interesting element about that is Takeshita is the IWGP World Champion.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to create this huge situation where Takeshita wins this tournament and he wins this title, and I don't know, maybe New Japan's going to say, no, we're actually keeping the IWGP title on him. Great. And then he goes and unifies further. Like,
yeah,
I feel like they're probably going to go like back and forth. I don't know that there is a satisfying method that truly unifies, you know what I mean?
Unifies everything, yeah.
And I think Takeshita should be crowned as I think it should be a major turning point in Okada's career where the I don't care bitch thing goes, oh my God, this guy is taking literally everything that I worked for and he did it in a year as opposed to the decade that it took me. Yeah. What's the idea or the odds that Okada gets riled up and puts both titles on the line? Hopefully high, Carlos. Hopefully
that'd be nice.
Very, very high. Hopefully
nice.
He gets super riled up and then says, putting it all on the line. And this is all a moot point. Hopefully. Yeah. And it's scripted, Alex. They could do that.
Yeah, they could. They could absolutely have Takeshita get under his skin and goad him into putting both of his titles on the line.
Terry Allen Jr. says, happy early Thanksgiving to your pair and families. Well, thank you, Terry. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, my friend.
Thank you.
LaRon Ford says, this tag tournament has been quite underwhelming. It feels like it could have been so much better had they put more effort into it. It's also happening as the national title was debuted, it started while the ROH Women's Pure Tourney is going on.
Uh-huh.
It is a mere months. I mean, it was announced like what, 2.5 months after the unified title was unified.
Yeah.
And it is going on while the C2 is going on. It feels like there was not a ton of foresight as it relates to tournament right now, Alex. There's 3 going on.
Yeah. Well, not only just that, but like, what was? Do you have on hand the date of the first round match in the women's tag team tournament? Because was it like, I don't know. It feels like it was
3 weeks ago, I think. 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Is it only 3 weeks ago? Because it feels like it was 5 weeks ago. Like, here's my thing: is that they started it before the build to Blood and like they started it right as Blood and Guts was heating.
It was October 29th.
October 29th. So 4 weeks ago. Yeah. So right as Blood and Guts for the women is heating up. And so we get the first 2 first round matches, then we get a whole bunch of Blood and Guts build. We get women, we got Taiji and Marina and sorry, I keep doing that. Marina and Megan. Mega Marina. So we get them having tag matches on Collision that aren't as part of the tournament, where you could have just had them having their tournament matches. Like they woefully mismanaged the timeline of this tournament by sandwiching it around other things while other tournaments and new belts are being introduced. Like, you just got to be able to do one thing at a time.
So LaRon Ford says, that's my point. It doesn't feel important or special. It feels like, here, damn, let's run a women's tag title tournament. I think that is what it was.
Yeah.
I think that is what it was. I don't think that Tony would have done this on his own. I think it took the demand of the audience to do it. Eddie Kingston will not talk about Hook, and he says he's not in line for a title shot, but maybe if he takes out Shibata on Collision, he will be, Alex. I like that. Well, that's common sense.
Yes, that part is common sense. They explained it that apparently Shibata took out Eddie on Saturday, which is why Eddie had nothing to say about his tag team partner apparently having run a con on him for several weeks, just to get close to Hangman, so that Hangman would think that Hook was on his side, as shown in this video package that Joe does later. To me, like, Eddie Kingston is the kind of guy who would not stand for having been duped like that. Like, the first thing that Eddie Kingston did when he came back was says, you know who was the only guy who kept checking on me while I was out at my lowest point in my life with this knee injury? Hook. Hook was my only friend while I was out. Like, this kid, I go to war for this kid, and this kid at that time was actively like running a con on him. I feel like Eddie Kingston, when he found that out, would move heaven and earth to light that kid on fire. And so him being like, I can't talk about him right now.
I think it's his effort for growth.
He's trying to not be the guy with the gas can. He's trying so hard to not be that guy anymore. But that's definitely going to come to a head at some point. I like him basically. If you're going to say, we've got 2 sick and twisted guys who are willing to do whatever to Joe and company, but we need at least one more dude. The perfect guy to add to Hangman and Swerve is Eddie Kingston. Like, that part, when we get to that part of the story, I'm going to be so happy.
Excuse me, they're called the Swang Men.
The Swang Men. Swang Men.
The Opps celebrate the new AEW World Champion Samoa Joe, and they bring out Hook after a nice video that I really loved about how they just basically said this was the plan all along. We've got your back all along. And Hook showing a little bit more personality here as well.
Yeah.
We're going to see him vocalize more, I think, during this as well. To me, this is a very positive step for Hook, and it's something that they haven't done. Hook was just over by existence for a long time. And after a while, it became like you needed something else. This is the something else I think he needs. This is going to help him grow a ton.
I agree. I think that I want them to utilize him to the best of his abilities during this. He is immediately adjacent to the world champion, and in the most important feud in the company. So now it's full sink or swim time.
Why does everybody hate the Hook theme song? I like the Hook theme song.
I think now it's like he's a douchebag. You know what I mean? Like that whole thing works for him if it's kind of almost like tongue in cheek and ironic. But we'll see what they do with it. If it's going to be his own theme song, like isn't the Opps theme song just Samoa Joe's theme song? So I don't know how often he'll be entering to his own theme anyway.
Meet Norma says, well, actually, we can go ahead and talk about this. Hangman and Swerve come out and lay a beating down, and just seeing them side by side is incredible. But also I look at it and I go, how long? Until one of them pisses the other one off. And
we can't get ahead of ourselves. They just got together, but where it's gonna come down to is one of us needs to take the title off of Joe. Who's it gonna be? Like, because only one of us gets to be world champ at the end of this. So I honestly, like, if you told me that for a while it's them doing trio stuff against Shibata, Hobbs, and Hook, and maybe they end up taking the trios titles, Swerve, Hangman, and Eddie Kingston would be a fun little trios thing. And they can do that for a while if they're going to keep the belt on Samoa Joe until like Revolution or whatever. If it's immediate, like now it got to become like, what do we do? Draw straws?
Yeah.
For who gets to be the guy who takes the title off of Joe? I don't know.
I love that new Swerve theme song. It is hard to replace what he had, and I think they did a good job.
It's going to take a while for me to not want to hear Swerve when I drive, like, and not want to watch Nana actually do the thing. Like you could tell the crowd is like, this is good, but we don't know the hook. So we can't sing it with the song yet. Eventually they'll get it, and eventually I'll get over it. So it's fine.
Meet Norma says Hanger, Swerve, Eddie, and who versus the Opps. If you say Jericho, I'll break something. Could be a good spot for Keith Lee or maybe Mox. Happy Thanksgiving. I love Keith Lee in that spot if he could come back.
If Keith Lee could be healthy, it would be such a great spot for him. Because he would work the least. If you were doing 8-man tags, all he's got to do is come in and work 45 seconds. You know what I mean?
And I would love to see them allude to it.
Yeah.
And Hangman say, there's another person you should probably apologize to, and he might be able to help us. And then they don't say it until he comes out. And, ooh, damn.
That'd be great.
That'd be great. Matthew Gray says, poetic, the Christmas ham of a man is world champion.
Very good.
We got a ham on right now downstairs. I'm so excited. One LT photo says multicultural cowboy faction, Bandito, Hanger, Brian Keith. So I saw Brian Keith backstage at Revolver at the show I did, the spot I did with Shotzi Myron. And I said, man, I really want them to reskin Sunset Riders with you, Hangman, and Bandito. Like, that would be so cool to me. Like, just those three running around and then killing a guy and being like, bury me with my money. One of those, give me that, man.
Yeah.
Whew. Adelia Chambo says, missed Full Gear because of work trips. That video package for Samoa Joe was how I found out Hook helped him beat Hangman. Happy Thanksgiving. And I thought a phenomenal video package it was, too.
It was a very good one.
It did great.
It really showed. And also the thing I love that it showed was something I didn't even really think about at the time, was Hook tapping out really fast in both the torture rack and the coquina clutch. And when he was asked about it, he was like, sometimes you're caught, you fight another day, which absolutely makes sense to me. Like, no one's getting out of the coquina clutch. So rather than have my blood supply cut off to my brain, I'm going to tap out. I'll get him next time. But no, it was part of the ruse the whole time.
Yes.
Great stuff. That's great.
I will say that torture rack has been traditionally in history one of the quickest tap out moves.
Yes, it is.
Ever. And it's one of those moves you think, oh, well, you could just jump off and get out. Nobody seems to get out of it.
Right.
Ever.
No.
N. Simmons says, easy way out of this is to have Omega, who is in a storyline with Don Callis' family, come out and tell Okada, we united those belts. They are one. You lose both. They are gone. I would love it if Omega like guilt tripped him and said, have some fucking respect, have some pride in what we put together. I would love that if he did something like that.
I would love it if Omega tried and Okada said, nice try, bitch, or whatever. But that him saying no to that allows Takeshita to catch him alone without Don Callis around and be like, you are too much. You fight with dishonor when you decide not to put both titles on the line. You won't put both titles in the line because you know I'm going to beat you for both of them, and then you'll have nothing.
And then he's got that IWGP title, and he's going to be like, I'll have everything that you have ever accomplished.
That's right.
I'll have G1, I'll have IWGP, and I'll have these titles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yep.
Statlander has a pretty good promo, I thought, about moving into the future. It was basic and easy and simple. And she goes, you can look to the past, you can slow down, you can go to the future. I know what way I'm going. I thought this was good, easy stuff.
Yes. And by next week, please have an idea for us what her program is for World's End.
Yes.
This is fine. It's the week after. It's the Wednesday after she retained her title against Mercedes. Mercedes must have a TBS championship program for World's End, and I would argue so must Statlander have one for the World's title. That you have them fight each other, and then we're doing a weird little tag team thing with a stipulation on the line. Mercedes needs programs for the TBS title constantly, like real ones, not like somebody won a four-way or a battle royal, like a real one. I want that.
Yeah. Man, I'm seeing this comment on Twitter. It's not convoluted. It's like an amulet. All of you assumed that he got rid of the Triple Crown when all he did was bring it in-house with his own title. The hell are you talking about? The hell are people? What on earth? That's one of the most asinine comments I've ever seen. They put it all together just to tear it all apart. Come on now. Man. What else we got? Oh my gosh. Jon Moxley defeats Mascara Dorada. Fine match. Moxley catches Dorada with a big punch, and hits one of the best dives he's done in a long time.
Yeah.
It's the gun stun RKO. I do not know why Mascara Dorada rolls and then jump over the ropes. I was like, that's a good way to get Jon Moxley to counter you and then dive and hit you in the face, man. Why do that? But then eventually Mox does a great transition. It was knees up on a shooting star press and then rolls him over to what looked like a ninja choke. And I love that. I love the camera angle they use on the ninja choke where it's the top down so you can see how it works. Solid. I thought there was a chance Jon Moxley lost all of the matches in the Continental Classic, Alex, but how'd you feel about this one?
I don't see the point of him in him being here if he doesn't. Considering the storyline they keep forcing on us, like Jon Moxley's not the same guy anymore.
Yeah.
Like at Full Gear, Danielson would not stop talking about like John. You could see Jon Moxley. He's scared. He's scared. He's not the same guy. He's not so tough anymore. He actually said on commentary at Full Gear, guys, when was the last time Jon Moxley even won a match? It was Wednesday. It was literally 3 days prior. He won a tag team match, choked out Cassidy. So is he falling apart, or is he winning matches and getting 3 points in the C2? And the other thing was, I'm fine with it if it comes down to the very last match of Blue League is him versus Claudio. And then the winner gets to move on in Blue League. Now, they're doing that match next week. So I don't know. Like, to me, I thought that Mox had done enough losing, especially via tapping out, to make the rest of the Death Riders pissed enough at him to kick him out of the gang with a brutal beatdown, if not at Full Gear, then tonight. But then they put him in the C2 and he had a match and they didn't do anything. And so, and after Claudio won, he came out and dapped up Claudio, and Claudio was like, hey, best friend. So everyone was telling me that Mox is getting jumped out of the gang. And I'm like, yes, I believe he should. But now it appears that might not happen for a while.
We got a really cool moment after that. And it was Toni Storm coming out and not just promoting Marina Shafir. It was her promoting Jon Moxley. And I want to say Jon Moxley has been doing some incredible addition to the women's division in one, adding to the gravity of the Marina Megan Bain team and then doing commentary while they are wrestling, really putting them over. But he was also the subject of this promo, of which Tony said, despite your love of cargo jeans, cargo shorts, cargo pants, I rather like you.
The fact that she insisted on calling him Johnny is so perfect. Jon Moxley is the least Johnny of any John I've ever seen. I don't know why I've never thought of it before, but Toni Storm being like, oh, Johnny, I do enjoy you, Johnny. It's so perfect. It's just absolutely, utterly Toni Storm.
It very much is. Meet Normus says Death Riders looked at Mox like I look at a salad bar. They did. It's how I was looking at Joey Votto the last 2 years of his career. I was like, yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same. This was fun. It was a quite long promo, all things considered, to say that you're having a hardcore holiday themed match and to get Mina to dance, but it was worth it. I mean, it's a thumbnail for this show. Tony and Mox. That was the cool thing here, because it feels like it opened up the world a lot, and it needed. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Matt Buckhold says, split the unified title and axe the Continental title. Have the national and international titles stay. C2 changes the Turner to the Turner Classic for the TNT title. You don't want to make it the name of the network, especially in these times right now. I mean, but
you can call it the Continental Classic as the name of the tournament.
Yeah.
And again, man, I do not understand why Tony Khan is so adamant against this. The winner of the tournament gets a shot at whoever is holding that particular title. It's so easy, and he won't do it. It just makes it so much easier.
It used to be for this title, and now, because we unified it, it's for a shot at that title because it is so important.
Yep.
I'll tell you what's important, guys. Making good bets with MyBookie AG. Listen, I know there's a lot of places you could bet at, but I've been betting with MyBookie AG all year, and I've won the last 4 weeks betting against my favorite team, the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, it's not been all bad. I did bet the over on Chase Brown's rushing yards last week, and I am here to proudly announce this week Joe Burrow is back, and I am going to bet on the Bengals to win the Thanksgiving night game. And right now, when you use that link in our description, you can go to MyBookie, bet on anything, anytime, anywhere, get a $50 bonus with a $100 deposit or a $100 bonus with a $200 deposit. They got the best support system in the world. We only want you to bet what you can, and please bet responsibly, which you could argue that I'm not doing by betting on the Cincinnati Bengals tomorrow. But your boy made some money on Islam Makhachev and Valentina Shevchenko. You know, your boy is going to be betting on his boy, Merab Dvalishvili, in the UFC here in a few weeks. MyBookie is the official odds provider of Fightful and Fightful Select. I want you guys to go check that out. You can bet on everything from floorball to football there. Meet Norma says, my Christmas wish is for Marina to be the one who cranks Mox with a chair to start the jump. She should be the new leader as co-women's tag champs. I think Marina, like, sort of leading the troops is kind of a cool idea, but you almost never get the payoff of Mox and her.
The Mox, the post Full Gear match promo that he cut, when they ran it, they showed that thing from Full Gear tonight, where he's like, so a loss, who cares? You don't spend the night in the hospital. Kyle O'Reilly, doesn't matter, wins, loss, we move on to face another day. There's another fight around the corner. He's talking a big game, right? Everybody in a half circle around him is looking at him come with their eyes full of doubt, which is why I thought that tonight we were getting him out of here, like just done, like gone. And no, not yet. But I think that's certainly coming. I love the idea of it being Marina with the plastic bag, because it's got to be the plastic bag, right?
It's got to be the plastic bag. That's how you go.
Honestly, her doing it by herself while he's kicking around going crazy, and they just hold down his legs and everyone stands and watches him do it. Watches him. They don't even participate. Like, she's great. She's been doing so much. She's the one who's basically been his biggest cheerleader, quote unquote. And if she's out on him, he's got nobody.
Carlos Cervantes says, the trios titles are barely defended anyway. Might as well let Kenny and the Bucks try to take them from the Opps for Hanger. That would be a nice way of bringing that full circle as well. Sure. I agree with Carlos. Or just use them more, or get rid of them. Lots of options. I mean, there are very few titles that I would say don't get rid of at this point. That's how sick I am of just these participation trophies that are all over wrestling these days. Kevin Knight defeated Darby Allin. This was a shocker initial, and I love it. I love it. Dave Koss says, to go out on a positive note, Kevin Knight has an unlimited ceiling, and I hope he wins 250 titles in the promotion. Later, boys, happy Thanksgiving. This was a great performance, and the commentary was like, man, it finally caught up to Darby. Like, everything caught up to Darby, and he's too ambitious right now.
I agree with that. I agree with Kevin Knight. He's having an unlimited ceiling. It literally doesn't matter how high the ceiling is, he will jump up and touch it. That was an amazing coast to coast. That was the most flush. Like, he could have just kept going. Like, usually when people hit the coast to coast, they like have full extension of the legs. Nah. He was all the way there. And that comment saying that Kevin Knight should win 250 titles. That just means winning each title they have once, I'm pretty sure, because that's how many titles they have. But Kevin Knight is the truth. Him winning this is interesting to me. But also, you look at the Gold League, and it's very possible that that he might not win another match.
Yeah.
Or he might win 2 or 3 more. He's not winning the Gold League, but like, he might put a scare into either Okada or Fletcher? Absolutely, he could. Or he could lose to Mike Bailey, lose to Pac, lose to Fletcher, lose to Okada. He could do all those things. Like, Fletcher winning this match tonight means he's gotta at least draw a couple of times or take a loss here or there. If you told me it was Kevin Knight, I fine, great. That match will be great. You know who I'm almost positive will be Kyle Fletcher's loss in this tournament? Darby Allin. Because that's the kind of thing they'll do with Darby Allin in this tournament, is he'll lose some matches where you think, I thought for sure he was going to win this. And then he'll win one, like he did last year against Ospreay, where you're like, well, he just lost to this guy and this guy, but he beat Ospreay. He's going to do the exact same thing with Kyle Fletcher, because the story with Darby is that he always figures out a way to at the matches you think he can't possibly win. Those are the ones where he comes out on top.
The other Mikey V says, Kevin Knight, you are the Douglas of the day. And Brian more or less says Kevin Knight is not Douglas. He is pure Douglas.
Pure Douglas, yes.
Got to agree. I was a big fan of that barricade moonsault that he did during this match as well.
Well, not only that, but like he did a box jump up onto it,
Yes.
never paused, and then it was just like he used it as a springboard. That was insane. The timing on that.
It's like I wanted to call it a springboard moonsault, but I'm like, how do you springboard off of a barricade?
It's if you have the springs inside your legs.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's how fair. You can do it. Anything is a springboard when you have springs in your legs.
Loved the avalanche back suplex that kicked off this match very early as well. Mm-hmm. Claudio defeated Orange Cassidy in the Blue League. How'd you feel about this one?
I mean, Claudio and Cassidy are always going to be really good together. This was no different than what I thought it was going to be. Always assumed Claudio was going to win, and he did. And then there was a weird little thing at the end afterwards. There was just like all of the heels, regardless of affiliation, will come out and beat up all of the baby faces, regardless of affiliation, in both leagues. And I was just like, that seems very WWE in 2019 when they were doing like, I'm wearing a blue shirt and you are wearing a red shirt. Let us fight. I didn't need this extracurricular stuff at the end to me, but it's fine.
It was just gang wars. It's the thing.
It was gang wars, but like not even that, but like guys who were in the blue league were fighting against guys who were in the gold league just to like have some fisticuffs because why not? I guess
racket supremacy.
That's right. That's right. So that's what it is.
That's what we got there. I am Crush NC says incredible Dynamite. Why did that post-show brawl happen? Everything on the show was great, but that was dumb. Deadlock Pro Forever. Yeah, I was like, what are we doing?
I don't know what that was.
The show was sandwiched between two things that I went, huh? And that was the announcement of the title and this brawl.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I was really hoping to see Mox bagged live in front of Renee tonight, says Noise. Oh, I think it should happen in front of Renee.
Yeah. That one. And just if Marina's not the one to do it to him, her making sure that Renee doesn't get involved, but like gently, would be really cool, like protective, like an aunt.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Just that'd be nice.
In Simmons says, I think Mox loses to Claudio and then destroys him. Someone takes his place, maybe a returning Keith Lee. Well, I was going to read that, and then it just fucking vanished off my document. So I will wait for that to go back up, and I will apologize to the person who was sending that super chat. But while I wait, I will tell you guys, subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. Thanksgiving Q&A drops tomorrow. Thanksgiving Debunkathon as well. We've got more contract news, more just signing news nonstop. I will be in the air as the Survivor Series happens, so I'll be doing a bonus review on Fightful Select.
Nice.
Alex has sour graps as well. Now I can read this super chat. In Simmons says, I think Mox loses to Claudio and then they destroy him and someone takes his place. Maybe a returning Keith Lee who says he's fine and waiting. Fine and waiting is
different than being in the C2. Like that's a hell of a schedule to come right back to.
Yes. Would I love to see it? Sure. But yes, it was Luis El Clone. See, like
El Clone. Put El Clone in that. It's in the blue league. He wouldn't have to fight Fletcher. Is he?
He's
That's
hurt.
too bad.
Yes, that angle's snake bitten. And Tom LaValle says, go ahead.
No, I love the idea of Moxley being somehow written out and then they replace him the way they replaced Juice last year. But Moxley's already got points.
Yeah.
So Juice didn't have points when they replaced him last year. I don't know how that would work if you've already got points. Would you have to forfeit those points if you were that person? Because you didn't earn them if you're the replacement. That's interesting to me.
And then Tom LaValle says, by the way, Evil Uno, Booker of the Year, great night, y'all. He almost booked me. So, yeah, sure.
Ooh, well.
he did. Alex, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me over on Fightful Select. We'll be doing a Survivor Series War Games review over there. That should be fun. People seem to really enjoy my brain going crazy about C2 math. If this guy beats this guy, then he's got to lose to this guy. But if he loses to that guy, he's got to lose to this guy. And then I go crazy about it. And for some reason, people like seeing me in the throes of mental illness. So we'll be doing more C2 math reviews over there. Maybe work out one of those a week. That should be fun.
I spoke to Ash by Elegance. That drops on Friday. I'm going to WrestleCade to talk to a lot of wrestlers. If you guys see me and you happen to be there, please come up and say hi. I would love to meet you guys. Brian, I am looking for your super chat. I think we did read that one.
Did we read that one?
We read that one, yeah. What I don't want to see.
The one that what you just had up, I don't think we read that one.
Oh, we read that one. I read it. Okay. I know I read it.
All right.
If Okada remains unified champion, why didn't he defend the unified title as a whole? Well, we didn't. If we didn't read it, we addressed it.
We definitely addressed it.
We definitely addressed it because that's what I was saying. Like he needs to defend it as a whole.
He really does.
Guys, thank you all so much. Happy Thanksgiving. Until next time, we're out.